It's time for Baby and Toddler Instructions with host Blythe Lipman. Blythe is a nationally renowned infant and toddler expert who has over 30 years' experience helping moms and dads regain their sanity, teaching them how to survive, and giving them the confidence they need to be the best parents ever. From sleeping to crying to potty training to choosing a preschool and so much more. If you're a parent, Baby and Toddler Instructions is the show you've been looking for. Now here's your host, Blythe Lipman.
Well, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever in the world you might be. Thanks so much for tuning in to Baby and Toddler Instructions. Today is Wednesday, October 21st, and the show is live. I can't believe it's the middle of the month, almost over. So if you have any questions when you're listening today, please call us at 877-864-4869. I love callers, and don't be shy. It's fun. Anyway, please call 877-864-4869. And if you're listening to a podcast, they're available 24/7 on toginet.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and, of course, my website, mybestparentingadvice.com. You can always contact me via my site if you ever have any questions, baby, toddler, parenting questions. Anyway, I am very excited about today's guest. He'll be with us in just a bit. He always makes my heart smile. Alan Klein, the wonderful Jollytologist, will be with us after I talk about some other things. And, you know, when I do talk to Alan, we're going to be discussing parenting and stress. They never go together, right? Yeah, right, sure. And his new book is called You Can't Ruin My Day. But first, there were some recalls this week. The Golden Horse recalled children's denim pants due to a choking hazard. They were sold at a store called Belk, B-E-L-K. We don't have that here. Anyway, the zipper pull can detach, posing a choking hazard. And, you know, so many times I've seen children with a jacket on and a zipper, and they have that top of the zipper in their mouth. So make sure they don't do that anyway. Zippers, you know, don't belong in the mouth. Also, Chew Beads recalled pacifier clips due to a choking hazard. The D-ring on the clip can break, allowing the beads to detach, and, of course, in the mouth again. Also, there was another big recall. You know those wonderful squeeze fruits that you can give your children in their lunch boxes, or if they're toddlers, they love to start holding them and squeezing the fruit or vegetables in their mouth? Anyway, the Go-Go Squeeze voluntarily recalled their pouches because a small number had mold in it. Said that the company discovered an issue with recent production that led to the development of the mold, the same type that can form on fruit, and an independent lab tested it to ensure that the mold doesn't pose any known health risk. However, mold is gross and unpleasant to look at or taste, as we know, what they say. So they took every step to understand and fix the problem. Anyway, if you have any of the Go-Go Squeezes that you give your kids, if they have a date, best before date between June 30th, 2016 and July 26th, 2016, you know what, play it safe. It says if you have these pouches that fall within those dates, play it safe and no squeeze with Go-Go Squeeze. So take a look at those pouches. I think it's ingenious, and it makes it so much easier for moms. So it's great that they're fixing the problem, and the mold probably wouldn't hurt the kids, but don't give it to them. So let's see what else we have on the agenda. Oh, I wanted to share an interesting article from the Science Daily about babies' first words. This was pretty cool. A baby's first words are often mama and dada. Usually it's dada, and even though mom does a lot of the work. But I shouldn't say that, because if there's two partners, you probably split it. But that's not what this article is about. It says the Florida State University psychology professor delves into how children build on the new early words to create a colorful vocabulary. Children leverage their early word knowledge to help them unlock their skills. And this professor said knowing a few related words helps children recognize the links between the new word meanings, and it could be a very useful strategy for helping children learn their vocabulary early in life. For example, mama and dada might lead to sister or brother, or toy might lead to doll or ball or game. And it said that children start to say words somewhere around their first birthday. Sometimes earlier they'll start saying da, da, da. So they did this study with 32 children who were all 2-year-olds, and they showed them pictures, and they did testing, and they picked easy words, and then they picked complicated words in broad categories that were familiar to children, like drinks, fruit, animals, body parts, vehicles. That's a hard word. The toddlers heard the words used in 5 different sentences while they showed them pictures. Although each child learned the same 6 words, they used their individual vocabulary to survey and identify the 3 words they already had that were neighbors in the vocabulary. So basically what they're saying in the study is that children learn to speak and they relate words that are common to what they understand. Like drink could be juice, or wheels could be truck. And this study was so important because it said that the ongoing work is to understand how children learn and develop vocabularies, and it can also help to identify early warning signs that a child might have a learning disability. And if they identify this at an earlier stage, then the kids can get help earlier. And, I thought that was really interesting. I love sharing these studies with you. But again, you have to take them all with a grain of salt because they didn't do a study with like 10,000 kids. They did a small amount of children that were 32 children. So I do like to share these things just in case you have a question, about speech. Also, since we're going to be talking about stress with Alan Klein today, there was another article for new moms, reducing stress benefits for you and your baby. So this mom, every night starting at 5 p.m., her baby starts the same routine. He cries, he nurses, he vomits, he wants to be held, carried, wiggled, vibrated, danced, nursed. He's colicky, and she homeschools her kids, and she has 4 children. Well, you know what? I don't care if you have 1 or 4 or 6. When your baby cries, you get stressed. So they have a new study that looked at the stress to see how it affects the infant. Well, duh. You know what? Obviously, if you're upset, your baby is going to understand that you're upset. And you can see if you're holding your baby or your toddler, if you're in a bad mood or you're just too tired or whatever it is, they pick up on the body language quicker than you can even imagine. And they did this study, with newborns. Again, they used newborns. They had 69 mothers with their 12 to 14-month-old babies, and they put sensors on both of them, and they showed things. Some mothers looked grumpy, some mothers looked happy, some sang, some looked like they were crying, and just the way the babies reacted to the moms was amazing. And it let these moms see anyway that if you're stressed, your baby is going to pick up on it. Your toddler, your older child many times will go, "What's wrong, Mom? Something wrong?" They know you really well. And this kind of made me laugh because the study suggested there are some ways to help ease your stress. And I know Alan is going to weigh in on this because that's what his books are about. Anyway, here are some things that they said to do if you're stressed. Take a bath with a nice smelling candle. Take a long nap. Of course, what are you supposed to do with the 4 children? Well, you're luxuriating in your bathtub with the candle, and then you're taking a nice long nap. Who is watching the babies? Ask for help. This is really good. This is good. Always ask for help. If you have just had a really rough day, do not ever be afraid to ask somebody to help you. Your partner, if you have a grandma, even if you have a babysitter and they can come over while you're home and you can just kind of relax for a half hour. This was the best one. Well, there was another one that said go out, plan a date with your partner. Date night is really important. Girlfriend time. Guy time is important. That does help with stress. But I love this one the best. Let go of perfection. You know what? I always used to laugh because I would think to myself many, many, many years ago, if I hurry up and do the laundry, then I can do what I want. Well, guess what? As soon as that laundry's done, there's another sock to wash. So let go of the perfection. You know what? Your children grow up very quickly. Enjoy each minute with them. So I thought I would share that. If you're stressed, just remember your babies, toddlers, older children are going to pick up on it. And we're going to talk more about that with Alan Klein in a few minutes. But I do want to share a few tips from my chapter in my book called Help! My Toddler Came Without Instructions. It's called Love, Love Me Do, Keeping the Magic in Your Relationship. If you have a good relationship with your partner, with your husband, whoever you happen to share your life with, and if you're a single parent, even with your friends, if you keep a good relationship, it will make everything feel better. So just a couple tips, and this could go for anybody. Give each other 2 compliments a day. It could be anything. When you get up in the morning, you say good morning. Give each other 2 compliments, and give your children compliments too. That really takes the grumpiness out of the day, and it's a great way to start. Also, make sure you take care of yourself. Eat breakfast. I know a lot of people don't like to eat early in the morning, but don't grab a donut and coffee. The sugar, gives you that quick high along with the caffeine, and then you get that low in 3 seconds. Eat something healthy. Better, I know you've heard this 100 times, better to eat a handful of nuts. You know what? Even a piece of toast with some peanut butter on it, if you can eat peanuts. A hard-boiled egg is really great. So if you take care of yourself and eat something healthy, that's a good way to not be stressed, because when we're hungry, we get grumpy just like our kids do. And one more tip from keeping your relationship fun from Love, Love Me Do. If you are grumpy, tell your partner, say, can I have a 15-minute break? And it's okay to ask. Just don't forget the compliment part. Anyway, I want to tell you about my guest today. His name is Alan Klein. He's an award-winning keynote speaker and best-selling author. He's a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor, a certified speaking professional designation from the National Speakers Association, Communications and Leadership Award from Toastmasters International. He's an inductee in the Hunter College of the City University of New York Hall of Fame. He is the author of 25 most wonderful books you've ever read in your life, including The Healing Power of Humor, Learning to Laugh When You Feel Like Crying, The Art of Living Joyfully, Having the Time of Your Life. We talked about that last year. Anyway, Alan is also a Jollytologist, and he's going to tell everybody what that is. But today we are going to talk about his new book, You Can't Ruin My Day, 52 Wake-Up Calls to Turn Any Situation Around. And if you're on YouTube, you can see a video. You can see what the book looks like, and also you can see my dogs. So we will be right back.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Shh. Listen, something is brewing. The beautiful business evolution is coming. The way we do business is about to change for the better, forever. This is real business at its very best. On Beautiful Business Radio, you will learn what it means to truly prosper, how to nourish yourself and your business, how to earn what you deserve and make a difference in the world. The tide is rising, the change is here. Discover a new way to live, love, and partner with yourself and your business on Philippa Rowlands Presents Beautiful Business Radio, where you matter and your business thrives, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, only here on the Woohoo Radio Network.
It's words you never heard.
Do you talk to yourself out loud? It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Henry David Thoreau once said, "Thinking is only the process of talking to yourself," otherwise known as autolalia. Einstein said that talking to yourself is a sign of intelligence. Studies show students who talk to themselves in school do better, and adult studies show that talking to yourself actually improves your memory. Talking to yourself can help you avoid being a kitchenheimer. You know, when you walk into the kitchen and forget what you were going to do? What's a word for the tendency to forget why one has gone somewhere? Destination. One advantage of talking to yourself is, at least you know someone is listening.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and Words You Never Heard has been brought to you by the Bariatric Surgery Center of Dallas.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions. I want to read you something. Getting born is like being given a ticket to the theatrical event called life. It's like going to the theater. Now, all that ticket will get you is through the door. It doesn't get you a good time. It doesn't get you a bad time. You go in and sit down, and you either love the show or you don't. If you do, terrific. And if you don't, that's show business. I love this. This is from the startup, from the chapter in Alan Klein's new book, You Can't Ruin My Day. And Alan, welcome to the show. I have to tell you, I have so many bookmarks in this book. This is so wonderful. It applies to new parents. It applies to grandparents. It is just so wonderful. So thank you for being on the show this morning. I love having you on. You always make me smile.
Thank you. And I certainly appreciate you having me on. And the quote you just read is by one of my teachers, Stuart Emery, from his book, Actualizations. I love that quote. It's one of my favorites.
It's a great way. It's true. It's so true. It's like giving a ticket to an event called life, and it's so true. So where did you get the idea for this book? Because all your books are great. And, you know, I was talking to you before I introduced you that I have the Alan Klein library with all your books, and I just love them. Where did this one come from? It's a little
book,
different.
You know, this book was not on my agenda, actually. And it just kind of came to me how important the advice that I needed to give people. And, you know, I write for myself, so I probably needed a lot of this advice also. I was on the way to the gym. It was a Saturday morning. It was a beautiful day. I was really happy. I put a CD in my tape deck in my car, driving to the gym, and I'm going through a tunnel. On one side of the tunnel, it's 35 miles an hour. When you get to the other side, it reduces to 25 miles an hour, and I didn't realize that. And I'm driving along, and I'm singing away, and I'm being pulled over for speeding for doing 42 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. And I get to the gym, and I'm still happy, and I'm still singing, and I'm telling people, I just got a speeding ticket. And they're going, how could you be happy and singing and joyous? You just got a speeding ticket. And out of my mouth came, I am not going to let that policeman or that ticket ruin my day. And I thought, how often do I or other people, we give away our power to other people or other situations, and we let it ruin our day or even our life, and that we can take back our power and not let that happen and have a great day every single day. So it came right back to my computer, and I started putting down all these ideas of how we could do that, how I've done that, how other people have done that in their difficult situations.
You know, I love the story, and what I understand, it was your first speeding ticket ever, rite of passage. Now you're an adult. I loved it, you know, but you're so right, because I think of all the parents. I run an infant room presently, and so many times I'll have a parent come in the morning, and I can see on mom's face, you know, she's trying to get to work, she's trying to get the baby ready, and he spits up, or she's got to go back, and I can just see on her face. And many times I will say to her, look at this beautiful miracle you're holding. And the babies, I have very smiley babies in my room. They're all happy. They're all great parents. And I'll say, just look at this. You know what? It doesn't matter. You're here. You're safe. Your baby's safe. You know what? Go on with your day and just remember this face all day. And it's so true, because we do let other people take our power, and we are upset all day. Before we talk more about this piece, tell my listeners about being a Jollytologist. I just love that title.
Well, I made it up because I believe you can be whatever you want to be in life, you know, under certain conditions. Of course, if you're 4 feet 6 inches tall and you want to be a top basketball player, that may not happen, but it might. So I coined that term, Jollytologist. I actually have a master's degree in human, HUMAN development, and my thesis was The Healing Power of Humor, which turned into my first book. And there's a Greek word, gelos, Gelos, meaning laughter, and ology, a study of. So I'm really a Jellotologist. But that sounded like I'd make those wiggly desserts. So I changed it to Jollytologist.
You know, just hearing Jollytologist just makes me smile. It's you know what? You don't have to, but we should be happy. I'm grateful all the time, and I always tell people, they look at me like I'm a lunatic sometimes. I'll just say, look around you. You know, I don't know if you do that, but if I don't do something silly and try to make somebody laugh, I'll just be serious and say, my gosh, I'm so grateful. You know, there's a blue sky.
Silly is one of my favorite words. But, you know, you just touched on maybe the main point in the book, is that we have a choice. I think that if there's one word that stands out for me in the book, it's choice. And so that woman that you described in your class, she can get all upset because she was rushing and, you know, she had to diaper the baby or whatever it was, but she also has the choice of looking at the baby and looking at it, that miracle, and looking at the baby's smile and feeling the warmth and the cuddliness of the baby. She has that choice. We all have that choice. And so no matter what the situation, I think the first thing, like in my speeding ticket, I have the choice. I could get really upset. I could think about, I'm going to have to pay this ticket. I have to go to driving school. You know, it's going to be on my record, all of this. Or I have a choice of lightening up. And as you said, I thought, well, now I'm an adult. I never got a speeding ticket before.
I wonder,
so you have a choice in any situation. I don't care what it is. It's the way you see it and the choices you have to make every moment of the day. And so you're the only one that can blame for not having a great day, because no matter what's happening, it's the choice you make about it.
It's so true. I wonder, though, did you try to, get out of the ticket and tell them that you'd never had a speeding ticket before?
No, I did not put on my right clown nose.
Okay.
I don't know about joking around with policemen that are giving you tickets. I heard of people getting out of them, but I just got the ticket. You know, it didn't ruin my day, so I was getting a ticket. That was the situation. How I react to it is my, through my eyes. So cop was doing his job, and I was doing my job of not letting him ruin my day.
You know, it's so great, and I'll just share something really funny. I don't want to jinx myself, but I got one speeding ticket in my entire life, and I had to go to driving school. Well, I didn't have to, but I could have paid the fine. And I learned more at this driving school, and it was the most fun, and it was the most informative, and it was really funny because the policeman that was doing the class, in between for the breaks, he was selling chips for 25 cents. And I thought, what is this message here?
I love it.
But I truly got a lot out of it. Not that people should get speeding tickets, but you're right, because I wasn't angry. For 2 seconds, I thought, why wasn't I paying better attention? But,
right,
then
right.
we get that's
so
the other thing.
You learn, and you learned a lot from the class. I just said something a moment ago that I realized it's not in my book, but I realized we could all do. It was the policeman's job to give me a ticket. It was my job to not let that upset me. So we all can say, we have a job today. I'm not going to let anything upset me. That's my job. God, I wish I would have put that in the book.
Well, you know what?
Can I rewrite the book?
Write it down.
So we all have jobs now. I'm going to my job, and I'm not going to let anyone on the bus or the highway or my boss or my coworkers, they're not going to upset me. That's my job today.
You know what? And we all have jobs, and I'm going to share something interesting with you, because many times separation anxiety is tough for these little kids that are first going to school, the little toddlers that start maybe at 2 and they can talk and they can walk. And I had one mom, and I've used this so many times. I had one mom say to her little girl, Jordan, she said, she gave Jordan a kiss in each hand to hold, and she said, Jordan, it's your job to have fun at school today, and it's Mommy's job to go to work.
Oh, great.
And I have just loved that for years and years because, first of all, she had 2 of Mommy's kisses to hold when she needed them, but she knew it was her job to have fun. And when Mom used to come back and pick her up, she would say, how did you do at your job? Did you have fun? And it was so cute because she could, yes, I did a good job today. And she'd look at the teacher. So you know what? We do all have jobs. It's perfect. Our job is to get up in the morning and decide. You know, we can be grumpy or we can be not grumpy, or, you know, we all have.
That's actually one of the wake-up calls. I call them wake-up calls. They're ideas, but ideas seem like a mundane word, and these are really wake-up calls. Sometimes, you know, you need a little push in the back or a hit on the head, a slight hit to wake up. And so one of those you just talked about is intention. How do you get up in the morning? Say when you get up. I sing a song every morning, or at least to myself, if not out loud in the shower, just to start my day on a high note. And so what is your intention? Your listeners right now, what is your intention for the next hour, for the next day? Again, it's what is your job, but it's, you know, I call it intention. It's like you're setting out your roadmap for the day. And we all need to do that because, you know, things come up. Babies cry. Babies need diapering. Whatever it is, there's the anxiety of separation. Whatever it is, things come up. But what is your intention? How are you going to get through that? And so I always try to look. You know, I'm human, so I have stuff that happens too, and I don't immediately, you know, react in a positive way, but then I often catch myself and go, wait a minute, I have a choice here. Now I'm going to say, what's my job right here?
Well, I have to say, wait a minute, because my intention is to tell my listeners that we have to have a commercial break in just a few seconds, and if we don't, then you know what? I might get grumpy, and I'm going to have to pick another way to have a better intention when we come back. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. I'm here with Alan Klein, the Jollytologist. You can't ruin my day.
We'll be right back with more help. For help, my baby came without instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MarlaTabaka.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
Living longer is a common byproduct of a healthy lifestyle, of daily exercise and low-calorie, nutritious eating. Living a long life where you're able to be here and enjoy your loved ones is certainly an important prize. But the biggest reward for living a healthy life is greater well-being. Not only do you want to live long, you want to live well. Feeling good, having a positive outlook on life, and increased energy are worthy goals and totally within your reach. No matter where you are today, no matter what the state of your health or energy level, you can take action now to make positive steps towards living a healthy life. Exercise gives you a better viewpoint and, frankly, makes your life better. live an active life, and see your well-being soar. For the Fitness Minute, I'm Annette Hammond. Visit our Facebook fan page at Fitness Minute with Annette Hammond.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
I wanted a perfect ending. Now I've learned the hard way that some poems don't rhyme and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment, and making the best of it without knowing what's going to happen next. That was from the wonderful comedian Gilda Radner, that unfortunately she passed away. And, you know, I love all these things that people said in your book. I'm here with Alan Klein. You can't ruin my day. 52 wake-up calls to turn any situation around. And, you know, it's true. What I said in my article from the Science Daily is get rid of the perfect ending. You know what? Make it as perfect as you want to make it. But anyway, Alan and I are we were talking about intention, and throughout his books, the way this book is set up, it is great. And you know what? I love the fact, Alan, that you don't have to read from the beginning to the end. You can pull up a chapter. I was having fun with it one day, and I was looking at this book, and I just was putting my finger where it would come out to. And it's interesting what came up, because sometimes we're not in charge, but the way Alan has it set up, he has the beginning, he has the wake-up call, he has the first step, he has the follow-up, and he has lighten up. First of all, talk about the wake-up call a little bit and how you set this up, because I think of a new parent. You know what? They wake up in the morning, and I used to love when my children woke up. They were babies, and you would hear them when they start babbling. It just made me smile. And I always think about new parents when they listen to that. That's a great way to start your day. You know what? Smile when you listen to this little miracle talking to themselves in their crib. So that could be a great wake-up call for new parents. What do you think?
That would be terrific. So I came about a wake-up call. Kind of interesting. This book probably took about 2.5 to 3 years to finally get published, because I was writing it for a year, and it wasn't gelling. I liked the information, but it wasn't in like a format that I liked. It didn't appeal to me, and so I stopped writing, and I showed it to one of my literary agents, and he said, "You're the world's only Jollytologist, and you don't have a lot of humor, a lot of funny stuff in this book." And so I thought, well, for each of the at that time it wasn't wake-up calls, but for each of the ideas, I need a lighten up part, the funny part of that idea. Because often if you think of gurus, teachers, great teachers, they often lighten up. You don't have to be serious to lighten up. And so I thought I need that. And once I got that, I thought, well, these ideas are really wake-up calls. So each section could have a wake-up and a lighten up. And then I thought, well, these are my ideas, but how do people go do it? So I have the little section of follow-up. So each of the wake-up calls has a wake-up call, the follow-up, and then the lighten-up. So then I just start looking at up, and I thought, yes, start up would be the beginning of the book, end up would be the end of the book. And then I came up with the 5 different sections, which I don't have in my head right now, so I can't tell you. Oh, no, here it is in the book. Wake up, wise up, grow up, crack up, and wrap up. So it just kind of fell in place using all these up words, and then I put the book together and finished writing it.
You know, it's great because I'm looking at page 235, and you have this as an office sign, but I think parents ought to put this up. It says, office sign, sorry, yesterday was a deadline for all complaints. I mean, I think that parents should think about this when they have their older children that complain about things. You know, I used to say to my kids, tell me something good. Tell me something good. They would complain, and you know what? That's what kids do. That's how they learn. They complain. We teach them. But tell me something good. And, you know, you can say that to everybody. Even if you have a friend and they're complaining, you have a section in this book, which I love, the word kvetching. If you don't know what that is, kvetch means you're complaining. And kvetch, for example, can relieve stress, providing your venting doesn't cause stress for others. And it can also provide a good laugh. For example, this is so funny. Roberta's mother brought her first telephone answering machine. Below is what she said. If you want me to make smoked salmon when you come to visit, press 1. If you want chopped liver, press 2. If you want chicken soup, press 3. If you want matzo ball soup, press 4. And if you want to know how I'm feeling, you must have dialed the wrong number because nobody ever asked me how I am. Who knows? I could even be dead. I mean, that's the perfect Jewish mother section that just cracked me up. And it's so true.
People complain a lot. I do like that sign. Yesterday was the deadline for complaining. Again, I mean, what are you talking about here? Is choice, attitude, intention, all of those things. Because, nothing has, and I guess this is the basis of the book, nothing has any inherent meaning. We put a meaning on everything as we see things through our own eyes. Kids are having a great time, and we may see, well, they're yelling too much, or they're running too much, or kids are playing. But we see it maybe differently, that it's annoying. They don't see it as annoying. They see it as joyous.
Exactly.
So,
and it depends on
everything
your day.
is seen through our own eyes, and there's that classic story, which I do have in the book, about two that really illustrate this point. And it's two shoe salesmen. And they were sent to some remote part of the world where nobody wears shoes. And so one of them sends back an email saying, I'm not going to be able to sell any shoes here. Nobody's wearing any. And the other salesman sends back an email, great opportunity to sell shoes. Nobody has any. Same situation, seen differently.
You know what? We do see differently. It's funny because it also it's where you are at that particular moment too. And I think sometimes when we complain, if we stop and think about why we're complaining, are we tired? Are we hungry? I talked at the beginning of the show about taking care of ourselves. Mothers are notorious for not eating. We take care of everybody else and not ourselves. And then we get upset with the kids because they're grumpy. And why are they grumpy? Because they're hungry or because they're tired. And you know what? It's the same. It's like it's same catch-22 because when we get hungry, we get grumpy too. So if you take a look at yourself or even your children, why are your children upset? Why are they crying? Is it an extra bad day? Are they coming down with something? Whatever it is, I find that when you have little ones and they're grumpy and you can't let it ruin your day, you know what? Either sit down and cuddle with your little one or start tickling or start doing something or sing a song with them. Yes. Tickling, singing, have fun with your little ones. And you know what? If there's nothing really wrong and they're just having a grumpy day because we have grumpy days for no reason, it will get you out of it. It will definitely make you feel better. Don't you agree?
I agree, and I think you said something in the beginning of the show and some of the research. It's like the parent's attitude is going to rub off on the child. So it's so important for the parent to be joyous, to be happy, to feel good about themselves, because it's all going to, when my daughter's now in her mid-40s, but when she was younger, I realized she was like a sponge. And whatever was fed to her often will come back. A friend of mine had a great example of that. I guess, let's see, it was her grandchild, his mother's grandchild. And the grandchild was saying to his sister, don't do that. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you if you do that. Don't do that. And his grandmother came over and said, that's not nice. You shouldn't say that. Where did you learn to say that? And the little child said, from you, Grandma.
Oh my goodness, it's true. You know what? It's true.
And I knew this person, and I do remember her saying things like that. Don't do that. I'm going to kill you. And so kids are like sponges. They just feed it back to you. So if the parent is not joyous, if the parent is really down or stressed, as you talked about in that study. It is going to come back through the child.
You know what? And it's so true, because I'll tell you, after my many, many years with infants and parents, the babies that are cranky, this is what I found. This is my own Blythe study. The babies that are the crankiest usually have parents that are the most nervous. And the babies pick up on it. And, they're worried because they're wet, or they're not sleeping enough, or they're not burping, whatever. All these things that a new parent doesn't know, it's okay, because they're new. They don't know, that it's going to be okay. And if they don't burp once, nothing's going to happen. Or it seems little to people that have grown children, but it's not little to a new parent. And I see these babies are cranky, and I will say to the parents, you know what, it's okay. You know what, you've never done this, it's okay. Ask lots of questions and basically use your intuition and do what's in your heart if you want to try something with the baby, because usually parents are right when they try something, even if it's different. But I have seen this so many times with the cranky babies. It's because mom is really nervous. And especially if we have a baby that's not particularly a cranky baby, a happy baby, I can tell when mom is stressed, because the baby comes in like a little clone of mom, and they're stressed and they're crying. So
yeah,
it's true.
Blythe, I think you need to write a grant and do a study on this. It's such an important thing, and I think, things I talk about, and you can't ruin my day, are not major breakthroughs. I mean, they're little things, but little things like that if the parents is stressed, the child is stressed. Just little things like that could remind parents, hey, wait a minute, what am I feeding my kid? Not just nourishment with food, but attitude and life, how I treat life. So important. Maybe you need to do a study.
You know what? Maybe I will, and you can help me. Maybe
Say that again? I'm sorry.
I said maybe we could do a study together, but we're going to break for another commercial. And when we come back, I am going to ask you how, when a parent gets up in the morning and they feel really grumpy, how do they get out of it when they're caught up in all these different stages that their kids go through? And, they think this is the one thing, parents think they just figured it out, and then especially with babies and toddlers, they do something different. And their life was really easy for maybe one day, or so they thought, but they don't realize it can all be easy. Anyway, the show is easy. I love my guest, Alan Klein, the Jollytologist, and we will be right back. Please stay with us.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Do you ever wonder if you're the only woman who runs errands in her yoga pants so it will look like she went to the gym? Or how about the only mom who feeds her kids raw cookie dough? Or are you the only one who cooks her family cold cereal for dinner? Do you need more laughter and less loudness? More self-love and less self-loathing? More joy and less judgment? You're not alone. Come to the living room, a place where we get comfy, candid, and confident together. Come seeking sanctuary and leave feeling renewed. We're saving a seat for you. Give yourself some living room today.
Like me, when you've finished dining at a restaurant, you hate waiting and waiting for the check to arrive so you can pay and get on with your day. I admit my rocket, as my kids call it, starts going off, and my husband always wants one more cup of coffee, and I'm ready to go, wiki, wiki, let's go. It's not that I'm tense, I'm just terribly alert. My husband always has a cup of coffee in his hand, so much so he is wearing out the handles of our coffee mugs. But then again, he's not as bad as the French writer Voltaire, who drank 70 cups of coffee a day. I can't drink coffee before going to bed because I get too wadgety. My husband, on the other hand, can drink several cups of joe and go right to sleep. And I'm not talking slumgullion. That's wheat coffee.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my new app, Too Funny for Words.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
So wake-up call number 37, dump the gunk. You must empty a box before you fill it again, is an Irish saying. I'm here with my guest, Alan Klein. He's written this terrific book called You Can't Ruin My Day, and we are talking about intention and setting up your intentions, and he has wake-up calls, and he has lighten up, and this is such a great book for parents, for everybody. I just love it. And Alan, tell my listeners where they can get this and all your 25 books, because I think everybody should have an Alan Klein library. It will make you smile.
Great. Well, they could either go to my site, www.allenklein.com, and that's spelled ALLENKLEIN.com, or places like any other online bookstores like Amazon. Put in my name, Alan Klein, put in You Can't Ruin My Day, put in The Healing Power of Humor, and you will see all of my books there.
Are you on Audible?
I'm Audible, and actually yesterday the audio book of You Can't Ruin My Day just came out, published by Dreamscape. It's not Audible, it's a different company. But a lot of my books are in audiobooks on audible.com.
You know, and I must add, if you go to audible.com/parents, and you can order a free downloadable book, including Alan's book, you'll be supporting Audible, and you'll also be supporting me and Baby and Toddler Instructions. So that's audible.com/parents for your free download of a book. So let me ask you, do you have a favorite parenting tip?
Well, it came from somebody in my workshop, and she said, we were talking about laughing with your kids, and she said, I can't do that. And I said, why can't you do that? She said, because if I'm laughing with my kids, they won't see me as an authority figure, and then I cannot discipline them. And we had this big discussion about, and Victor Borges said this, laughter is the shortest distance between two people. I think it's totally opposite. They will listen to you because then they become your friends. Then you become buddies together. You can laugh about the same things, and they probably will listen to you even better. So the tip would be make sure you laugh with your kids. Make sure you enjoy your kids. You know, it's so interesting I'm on the show, Blythe, because the book I'm writing now is called Secrets Kids Know and Adults Ought to Learn.
Oh, I love it.
So I think kids are such great teachers, and when your kids laugh, laugh with them. So that would be my tip.
That's such a great tip. You know what? And they see you as a human being. You don't have to be, yes, you're the disciplinarian, and yes, you're teaching them, and that's our job. But my goodness, you're also human. I'll tell you what, too, and since you have an older daughter, a grown daughter, I mean, many times when I get together with my children, we are hysterical, laughing about the silly things that we laughed about when they were kids and when they were younger. So it's really, that's a great parenting tip. So I know you have a story about your daughter you want to share.
Yeah. By the way, my daughter and I still laugh a lot. We giggle together. We could be walking down the street, and we'll go over to a parking meter and make believe it's a microphone and start singing. So anyhow, when I was writing my first book, The Healing Power of Humor, my daughter was a young teenager, and I'm writing away. I have my office door closed, and there's a knock on the door, and some silly little thing she wanted to tell me, and I tell her, please don't disturb me, I'm writing, and, 10 minutes later, she'd knock on the door to tell me some other little silly thing, and I could not get writing done, so I put this big sign on my door that said, please do not disturb me unless it's an emergency. So about 10 minutes later, there's a knock on the door, and I go, Sarah, what do you want? I put this sign on the door, not to disturb me. What do you want? Is it emergency? And she said, yes, it's an emergency. And I opened the door. I said, what is the emergency? And she said, I need to tell you I love you.
Oh, my goodness, I have the chills.
I mean, kids get us, kids understand us, kids know, kids show us how to be in the world, you know? Because here I was writing a book about therapeutic humor, and here I was getting too serious. So my daughter Sarah was showing me in a very loving way that, hey, Dad, cool it.
You know what? And if you
I love you. Cool it.
That is the best story ever. And if you watch your little ones, I mean, if you have toddlers, you can watch your babies, and we learn from watching how they learn, how they grasp something, or how they like to touch things. They're very tactile. They like to touch your face and your hair. But then if you watch a toddler after they start walking, watch their eyes light up and how excited they get and how they learn. And they're just excited about everything. And that's what we sort of lose. We don't take the time to be excited about what's right in front of us. And something like that with Sarah telling you that she loves you, oh my gosh, that's such a great story. It's funny because I used to tell my children the same thing. Do not interrupt me unless it's emergency. And one of my children said, what does that mean? I said, you throw up or the house is burning down. Otherwise, don't bother me. And we used to laugh about it because they would interrupt me and go, I think I'm going to throw up. So.
Yeah, you're telling me that. I'm thinking I'm going to throw up. No, I think, and I think this is, you talk about parents stressing out, but just get into that beginner's mind. Zen talks about beginner's mind, seeing the world as fresh and new, which is what babies and toddlers do. And if you can just get in that frame of mind, you won't get so stressed out. You won't see things as upsetting. It's more like you're learning. It's a learning experience. It's an adventure. Not in this book, but I have another story about a parent having a terrible day and one thing after another happening, and all of a sudden the water heater in the basement broke, and there was flooding all over the basement, and this is really stressing the parent out, and the little kid came over and said, Ma, look, we're having another adventure. So look at everything as an adventure, and I think some of the stress might go away because it truly is. It's an adventure, and that's the way kids see it.
You know what's interesting? When I autograph one of my books, I always put, enjoy my instructions and all your new adventures. And I have said that for so many years because they are adventures. And, if you look at it that way, it's funny because before the break, I said I was going to ask you how parents can stay neutral when it's tough and you think you just have it, and then your kids do something else, or if they're older, they come home from school and they're upset.
Right.
It's just an adventure. And how do you stay neutral? Do you just say it's an adventure?
Yeah, one of the wake-up calls is to stay neutral. Like when you put a car in neutral, it doesn't go sideways, front, backwards. You're just there. And one of the little tips, you can imagine like a camera in the corner of the room, and then someone's going to post that on Facebook. So how do you want to look on Facebook? Do you want to be really angry when something happens, or do you just want to stay in neutral? I mean, if you got to do something, you got to do it, Child throws up, you got to clean it up.
Of course.
Do you need to get upset about it, or can you just stay neutral? So that's what I mean by that.
You know what? And it's so true. I mean, I like to have fun. I promo all my shows with my videos. And if you go to YouTube under my name, you can see the videos. And I dress up my dogs, or I put something funny on my grandson. Like you, I like to have fun, and I like to have people lighten up. And, these adventures we have every day, they are adventures. And sometimes the things we're stressed about, you look 20 minutes later, they're not important. One of my friend's mothers used to say this all the time. She said, I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to call it Nothing Means Nothing. And you know what?
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah. And often looking back, go, well, that was funny. My child did this and this and this. At the time, they may be stressed. But looking back, so maybe in that moment you could stop and go, what would this look like in 5 days from now, in 5 years from now? What will this look like? And it won't be so terrible.
Right. It's true. I mean, there are things that do stay with us and we have to work through, but a lot of things they're not. So, Alan Klein, I have to let you go because we're up to the end of the show. Just tell me quickly, and my listeners, when is this new book going to come out? I love the title.
I just started writing it. 2 to 3 years. I don't know. I'm a slow writer. We're looking for a publisher right now, and it will be out. I can't tell you when, but I'll call you, Blythe, and I could be on again if you'd like.
You can absolutely be on. You can be on before that. And you know what? And I won't bother you unless it's an emergency. So.
Aren't you going to tell me you love me?
Actually, I'll go. Alan Klein, I do love you, and I love your books and my library. And you know what? Nobody's ruining my day. Thank you for making me smile and being on the show. You're just great. And we will talk to you soon. Happy writing.
Thank you. Thank you. You made my day.
Oh, thanks. You take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Wow. You know, I am just sitting here, if you saw me, with the biggest grin on my face. I love having Alan on the show. He is just so much fun. He has such great information. So I hope you listen to all my shows, my podcast, you know what, and listen to all the other great shows on TogiNet.com. We have some wonderful hosts. I personally have had over 200 guests can help you with all your parenting questions and make your life easier. And again, TogiNet.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and of course, mybestparentingadvice.com is my website. Baby Instructions is under construction. But visit My Best Parenting Advice. I have all kinds of blog posts that I try to add weekly. I'm just going to put a new one on. If you're getting ready to send your little one to preschool, what to expect. Also, please like my pages on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Pinterest. You can order my books. Again, I'm on Audible. And I would like to leave you from author Elia Wheeler Wilcox said, "A pat on the back is only a few vertebrae removed from a kick in the pants, but it is miles ahead in results. So tell your partner what a good mom she is, especially on the rough, sleep-deprived days." And as Norman Vincent Peale, the minister, said, "When I wake up in the morning, I have two choices. I can be happy or I can be unhappy, but I'm not an idiot. I choose happy." And finally, a little humor. Handle every stressful situation like a dog. If you can't eat it or play with it, pee on it and walk away. Thanks for tuning in today. Remember to be grateful. Enjoy your little ones. They grow up so fast. You know what? Laugh with them each day. And have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.